Alright, all you tuned car fans, we have another high-end one coming in, so hopefully this will be a special one. It says here, VIP Q01. So this is the very first VIP Q deformed one, maybe? That should say Fairlady, but Fatalady. Interesting. And then it's Nissan Z S30, which I think is the 280Z, but correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure. Nothing else on here. It's supposed to be 164, but take that with a grain of salt because it's a cartoon car. So, I've never seen that slipcover before. And what? Alright, so that's a sturdy box and all. And this is a first impression that's nice, but where's the clear box? Like, where's the crystal cover? This is the way it came in the mail. And I see this tape here. Was there supposed to be a clear box on top of this? But I don't think it would fit. If it was, this box would be up here, right? So I don't know. I honestly think that this VIP scale model expects you to have such an expensive resin model just exposed to the elements, which seems really strange. To me, I feel like it would have to have a clear box over it to protect it from dust. Or I'm gonna have to look into the seller. Maybe they opened this and they just didn't include the clear cover. If anyone else has this model, please let me know if it came with a clear box. I almost think it doesn't because I don't think it would fit. There's nowhere for it to go around this black but in between the red. Right? There's just no room for a clear box. Weird. So, alright. And now there's no screw on the bottom that you can remove. It is right there, but you'd have to cut this fake leather to get to it. So, like, how am I going to protect this from getting dusty? That's my main concern. Yeah, so strange, you know? That's such a strange design decision. Now I have to find a different box to put this entire thing into. Right? That's really odd. Alright, that thing is so shiny it's blinding me in the eyes, but you can see it's photo etched metal. Nissan Fairlady. It's on purpose called a Fairlady because it's not a licensed product, you know. It's just gonna come and go, and then in a couple of years this model will come back under a different brand name probably. It does say it's 138 of 299, so I'm gonna guess it's 299 red ones. Alright. So yeah, it's nice, this base, it's impressive, but if it's fake leather, I know it's gonna crack within 5 years, I bet. It's gonna just fall apart. And then I guess I'll just screw it to a normal crystal box case after when that happens. I'll just tear this off and tape it to the new case. Unfortunately, look at the tires. I feel like they're really squished there. Like, it's so squished, you can see the wheel, right? You can see the inside surface of that wheel because this tire is so squished. I gotta remove this. QC passed, but the sticker's almost worthless because it's not a very good model if it's squished like that. Alright, so there's a Phillips head screw in there. It's a pretty big one, like a number 2, but I don't have a number 2 Phillips with me, but let's see if this works. Okay, so release some tension. Boy, that tire is really squished. I don't see anything really. Well, those mirrors are pretty stocky. I'll leave it on the base. I don't want... If I drop it, that mirror's going to snap off and it's going to leave a horrible glue residue. So, alright, we're going to continue on with this on the base. So I looked up Liberty Walk Nissan Fairlady Z, and this is what came up. I'm going to guess they were going for this actual model car. Yeah, kind of, sort of. The wheels don't match exactly, but it does have the fender flares. And that bumper, actually, maybe it's not the same car. I don't know if there's a bumper cutting across there. So maybe it's a combination of different modified Fairlady Zs. I'm not really sure. Alright, well anyways, we can at least get the side view here to see how foreshortened it is. Boy, this tire as well, look at that. That is just messed up. This is such a gap there. Ah, boy. That's just really bad. If this model was cheap, I wouldn't care so much, but this was an expensive model. Alright, well, let's go to the back view. It doesn't look so bad, actually. Alright, let's get into the details here. Hopefully other details won't be so depressing. So the wheels themselves are those Watanabe F8s. They look alright, except I don't see any sort of indication of the lug nuts. There should be 4 lug nuts holding these wheels on. And, oh well, it is there, never mind. Yeah, there are tiny dots there. 1 lug nut, 2, 3, 4, so that's good. Again, you can see a glue mark there, actually. The tires themselves have nice sidewall curvature. You know, there's some gunk. Thankfully, it's not permanent. Some sort of residue on the paintwork, and it's just a red. It's not a metallic red, but it looks nice. Look at the reflections. I don't see much orange peel going on there. This is a resin model, by the way, guys. It's not die cast. Alright, so you got the Z badge there. That looks pretty good. There's no interior, it's just a totally blacked out glass. But it looks like this is a photo etched window trim. Yeah, it's etched. That little middle line is etched away from the rest of the stainless steel. So that's pretty good. The mirrors, yeah, nice thin stocky mirrors. And then a reflective sticker, so that's pretty nice. What's this? This little turn marker here. It looks like it's very shiny. It also looks translucent. I almost think it might be, I don't know, a piece of steel with a clear coat of orange on it. The base is in the way, so I can't. I gotta get a better angle so the base can come. I'm not sure how that thing's made. I don't know. Alright, the headlights look great. Look at that. Those headlights are better than most true scale 164 models. I mean, the light bulb and the striations in there, that's really nice. This grille is really nice as well. I would guess that that's a piece of photo etched metal, because the slots are so precise. Same with down here. And then these markers down here, again, they're very shiny and they're a little translucent, so I almost think they sprayed some clear orange on top of a piece of metal to get that effect. Okay, the Z badge here, that's a decal, I think. You can see a tiny bit of the clear around the silver ring, so I think that's a decal. The question is it under the clear coat? I don't think it is. I can feel the smooth, a little roughness. So that decal is sitting on top of the paint, so there's a chance that could crack off in a while. Alright, this marker isn't really applied horizontally, it's not done well. And you can see, yeah, these tires as well. Boy, that's such a shame. Alright, so the rest of it looks nice. The exhaust is really great. You know, it's got some black in the middle and there's depth here as well, so that's the nice exhaust. This bumper seems to be a separate piece, same with the front, because you can see a little gap there and there. So they're separate chromed plastic, I assume, bumpers. This rear is pretty, it's alright. There's black and then red and silver. Unfortunately, there's not enough black over here. It's all here, so they didn't add enough paint there. And then I'm gonna guess this little silver thing might be a photo etched piece of metal because it's so well defined. Yeah. In fact, I think this entire taillight is a piece of photo etched metal, and then they put the red paint into the etched away sections. So this red paint is on top of a piece of metal, because you can see a little bit shining through there. Some sort of glue residue, probably from gluing in those taillights. Luckily that comes off, so it's not a hard glue, it's more like a silicone soft glue or something like that. Yeah, okay, so that's good. Sorry, I might as well just do it. Alright, so there's a decal here for Fairlady Z. Unfortunately the Z's been cut off a little bit. And this wing is a separate black piece painted. Oh, I didn't even see this before. A little silver here for the antenna stub. And then again, the rear window has a piece of photo etch metal for the trim. And then, yeah, this clear coat's really nice up here. A little bit of a dimple there in the clear coat. The windshield here, I'm now noticing there's photo etched wiper blades, and they have some etching there for the lightning holes. Some recesses here. So, there's, it's really just the tires. Any other flaws, you gotta remember that was magnified a lot. So, looking at it from a half an arm's length away, the only flaws I really see are the tires, how crushed they are. So I'm going to have to take this off the stand, disassemble those wheels. I guess you guys probably want to see that, right? It's not very often people even talk about these cars, never mind take them off. I just can't drop it or those mirrors are done for. So there's a spacer trying to help out, but it's a rubbery spacer. What they need to do is use a hard plastic spacer so they can't crush those tires. Look at that, right? Alright, so I also don't want to, if I touch those wiper blades, they'll probably fall off as well. Hold on here. I got a bigger Phillips head here. That thing is really tight. This car is so short, I don't know where to grip it. Okay. Something's hanging up there. I don't know what. Oh, I see. There's some glue residue for the exhaust can. Alright, so you'll see it's just one big chunk of plastic. And it's just painted really well. This is a weird construction. So the whole tire is trapping or encapsulating most of the wheel. So that looks nice. It's this. Will this ever go back to normal? I don't know. Regarding the cases here, I pulled out an Inno64 case, and there's no way it's going to fit over this leather thing. And then here's one from Pyro64. No way it's going to fit over that. So again, this is a conscious decision by this VIP brand to not have a plastic cover for such an expensive model, which to me makes really little sense. Alright, so now you guys know. Alright, after a very long break, here we are again. So, first, I tried to correct the tires. Wasn't happening. I ended up, putting them in a pan and then pouring hot water around them. But even with boiling water, these things are so hard. They are rubbery, but extremely hard. They just will not come back to shape. I thought the heat might allow them to be pliable and cool down to the proper shape, but no, they're not even round. This thing is like a weird oval shape. The front ones aren't so bad. they could have been used again, but the rear ones is just not, well, even that one's pretty bad. But I mean, this rear, it's not even round, so that's a big problem with this this particular model, right? So I thought, you know, what would I do? And it turns out I had these 3D printed wheels with choro-q tires, and I had them on a different choro-q, and I just pulled them off, and they're just stuck on this guy with the Potafix Pro putty. So these are actually better because I have a brake system back in there. There's a red caliper by the door, and then kind of like a goldish brake rotor. So it works out in my favor. Now, I can't have this thing just collecting dust. So I decided, since I'm already, you know, losing the original wheels, I might as well just lose this. And yes, look, it's fake leather. This fake leather would have cracked anyways in a few years. Fake leather just doesn't last long. So this is, you know, just a waste of money, really. The model could be cheaper if they just put it on a plastic base. So I ripped off the name badge, and I took that Pyro 64 base and I put it on here. But you might wonder, how did I get this texture? So I used a rattle can. Well, first I masked it off, you know, masking tape. Then I sprayed it with some rattle can black matte paint, and then I actually used ground pepper. I poured ground pepper spice on there, and then I sprayed it again, and though that second thick layer of paint is what's sealing it, or trapping all that ground pepper in there. So ground pepper works pretty well to simulate a rough road texture. Alright, and it's obviously cheap. You don't need to buy hobby sand or anything like that. It's just some crazy glue holding this badge onto ground pepper. It actually had a big plastic piece, and so there was a seam there, and the ground pepper is hiding that seam that was, you know, there on the Pyro 64 base. So I also put hard plastic spacers in between the model. So, you know, I used the same screw, but it's really long because this base is so thick. So I have this plastic washer, this same plastic washer on the other side, as well as a black nylon plastic washer. So these tires cannot get crushed. In fact, it was actually raised above the surface a little bit, so I moved the front tires down to touch the ground, and now it looks like it actually has some suspension travel there. And then because I used the putty, I have the car steering a little bit to this direction. So I think it worked out in the end, because now with the Pyro 64 case, I can put it on the shelf and never have to dust it off again. So that worked, right? Keep in mind, you know, you don't need to have a 3D printer if you have a problem like this. You would have to get some choro-q tires, but you can buy a choro-q for a few bucks, you know, the less important ones. And you could buy some of these alloy wheels. These are Word C alloy wheels meant for Hot Wheels, and this thing has choro-q tires on it. So that's one option you can go with. Or I have these Hot Wheels Real Riders I pulled off of a Hot Wheels Premium, so you could go with that as well. I repainted these, but yeah, those are just Hot Wheels tires. So you can save a model like this with not too much money spent. Okay, so now after all that, let's compare to a couple models. Let us start with some 1/64 scale models. So I have this Aoshima from the Grachan collection. So this has a Liberty Walk body kit on it. Not quite the same as this, but it is highly modified. I think that's a 240ZG, this one, because it has the light covers. And then I have a normal stock vehicle, it's a Fairlady Z S130, which I think to most people might be known as like the 260Z, or maybe it's the 280Z. I forget, sorry. So let's get the top view here. You can see the foreshortening going on quite a bit, maybe like 30% shorter than that TLV, and similar width to that Aoshima. Okay, so that's it for the normal looking cars, so maybe this isn't so normal looking. Let's compare it to a couple of choro-qs. The most logical comparison would be maybe this guy. This is a, what does this thing say on the bottom? 240ZG with the light covers. This has 3D printed wheels on it. not cambered. They're just stuck on the regular motor and the regular axle. This one, this next one is also a 240Z. No, it's listed as a 260Z, although I think the mold is the same. Just has a wing edition. That has 3D printed wheels as well, but it's not on the stock motor. It's just using putty, so that's why it looks lowered. Alrighty. This next one is a 300ZX. And that's definitely using putty because it's got the crazy camber going. And then this last one is a Z33, but I know it is a 350Z. And that's got well, they all have 3D printed wheels on them. But this one is just using putty, but not much camber going on. Alright. Okay, so I guess that's the Z family of mine in choro-q form. So to spin on its own. And also I like to every now and then bring out these cartoon characters. That's Zurg from Toy Story, right? Okay, well, so I gotta say in conclusion, this VIP scale models, they might have a sticker of quality control, but that doesn't actually mean there was any quality control. I might even try to email them if they have a real website. They probably don't because this is all unlicensed stuff, you know. They're trying to avoid contact with lawyers. But maybe in the really extremely rare chance they see this video, they'll know that if you're going to have such an expensive model, you got to have a plastic cover for the thing so it doesn't get dusty. And then, I mean, you got to get the quality control in order. I mean, those tires are just miserable. Absolutely miserable. So in conclusion, you might want to avoid this brand unless you're prepared to just buy some extra wheels, at least in the, the case of this model. I do have another one or two, and they were okay. So yeah, I guess it's hit or miss, and that seems to be the case with almost every brand making scale models, at least scale model cars. Alright guys, well, I appreciate you watching, so I'll see you the next time around. Thank you.